Hey guys, today's video is going to be a review and swatches and a talk through tutorial using the new Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. So if you're interested in this palette and want to know a little bit more about it, then just keep watching. So first things first, I was able to get my hands on this palette at my local Ulta. It hit stores, I believe, today on April 7th. And I know that my Ulta was very low stocked on them already this morning after I left, and they'd only been open for a little while. So if you did miss the launch of these in store at Ulta, I'm sure they'll restock at some point, but I believe Sephora is getting theirs on the 15th of April, so you can pick them up there. However, I do believe it is after the VIB sale has ended, so you won't be able to get the extra % off like you were able to get the 20% off at Ulta with this one. But this is what the outside packaging looks like. It's real cute. I love the gold foiling on the front, and I just like, it's pretty simple in the front, and I kind of wish this is what the whole packaging looked like on the inside as well. So this is what the palette itself looks like. It's metal, and it's about the same thickness, I believe, as the semi-sweet, and it's just a magnetic closure. And it's got that same kind of ombre look as the front packaging does, and then it's got the little peaches all the way around it. I really, like I said, I wish it was just this logo in the center on the ombre without all the little bumps and everything. But yeah, so this is what the back of it looks like. This is the front of it, and then the inside looks like this. And I'll insert swatches of all the different shades, but I'll just kind of go through each one. Alright, so this is what the packaging itself looks like. It's the tin little metal packaging, same as the semi-sweet. It looks like it's the same size and width of it. And I believe the Bonbons palette was the same. But it's just a little magnetic closure. And it's got the same ombre effect as the front packaging. The only thing I wish they didn't include was these little peaches. I just think it's a little overkill and a little too cutesy, at least for my taste. I know it's completely by preference. Some people love it, some people don't. And then this is what the inside of the palette looks like. It has a really good range of shades. There's really light all the way to really dark shades. I will say that I have had a couple issues with pigmentation and fallout with a couple of them, but I'll probably get into that a little later with the swatches. So for the first row, we have White Peach, Luscious, Just Peachy, Bless Her Heart, Tempting, and Charmed, I'm sure. The look I did today mostly was focused around Bless Her Heart. This shade, Tempting, I had a little issue with some fallout, and you'll see that later in the video. And I believe Charmed, I'm sure, is like the closest thing you're gonna get to a cool toned brown in this palette. It's mostly pretty warm tone. For the second row, we have Nectar, Cobbler, Candied Peach. This is one of my favorites. It's a really cool color. Bellini, which reminds me a lot of Expensive Pink from MAC. Peach Pit, and then this one here is Delectable. This one you can see had a little more issue swatching. It's kind of more patchy. Alright, for the last row we have Peaches and Cream, Georgia, Caramelized, Puree, Summer Yum, and this one is Talk Derby to Me. This one you can see is a lot like Delectable. It's very patchy. It's supposed to be a black with a purple sheen and sparkle to it, but you can see it just doesn't really, like, there's a little bit towards the center where it looks pretty bright, but the rest of it is just kind of patchy. Alright, so my kind of final overview of this palette is if you can get it on a deal with the 15 or 20% off from Ulta or Sephora, it's totally worth it. It has a great selection of colors. Like I said, there's some really good ones. I know this bottom row, I'm going to totally use all 5 of these. I love all of these kind of peach shades, and I even really like the highlights. They're really nice. These kind of on the outer edge aren't as nice, but they're still pretty good. The Delectable and Talk Derby to Me are the only really disappointing ones. The rest of them I can still get a good use out of. Alright, so just my overview of the palette and whether or not it's worth it. I would say if you can get it on a deal of 15 or 20% off at either Ulta or Sephora, it's worth it. Also, if you're someone who really likes to collect these palettes, and you know you'll get a lot of use out of it, then go ahead and get it. I know I'll get a lot of use out of it, and I'll like to have it in my collection. But yeah, so if you want to see how I like to use this palette to get this smoky kind of olive look, then just keep watching. Right, so for today's look, I'm going to use the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And I'm already used MAC paint powder and Painterly, and I'm gonna go in with this shade called White Peach. I'm gonna just set my entire eyelid with this. To start building up my crease, I'm gonna go in with the shade Peaches and Cream down here. I think for my look today, I'm gonna go with these green shades just to do something a little different. And so I'm gonna go in with this first one called Bless Her Heart. And I'm gonna just place this all over my lid. Now I'm going to take a MAC 217 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Puree right here. And just use a very little bit of it to start building the crease up even more. Now I'm going to get back in with that original Sigma E40 and I'm not adding anything to it. I'm just going to work on blending out the crease some more. Alright, now I'm going to use my MAC 221 brush. This is just kind of like a more precise blending brush. I'm going to go back into Bless Your Heart and really start using that in the crease some. With that same brush, I'm going to go into the shade Tempting that's right next to Bless Her Heart. And this looks pretty black, but it actually has a nice green undertone. I'm just placing this mostly in the outer corner. I'm not sure if y'all can see, but I have a lot of fallout from both of those green shadows, which kind of makes me a little disappointed because I wasn't expecting to have that much fallout issues with these shadows since they are pretty expensive. And I've heard such great things about this palette. I'm going to go ahead and start on the lower lash line, and I'm going to go first in with Peaches and Cream on my 220 brush. Going in with the shade Puree on that same brush. I'm going to go in with the Real Techniques accent brush in the Bless Her Heart shade. That was the pretty olive green. I'm going to just focus that right up against the lashes. Now I'm going to just go in with a little angled eyeliner brush into the shade Tempting and line my upper lash line and really close on my bottom lash line. Now for an inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm going to mix White Peach with the shade right here, Nectar. Alright, now to finish off the look, I'm going to use Urban Decay's Demolition eyeliner in my waterline on the lower lashes. I like using this one for my waterline because I think black's a little too harsh on me and closes in my eyes a little too much. But this brown shade, it gives similar effect, but it's not quite as harsh. And then for my upper lash line, I'm going to tight line and go over the top lash line with this STILA pencil in Stingray. And it's just their black smudge stick. I'm also going to smudge that out with the same eyeliner brush from before with the shade Tempting. fallout ended up being pretty bad, so I'm gonna just go under my eye area where I've had issues with a little makeup wipe, and I'm gonna just have to go back and try to correct it. Alright, I just finished correcting all the fallout that I had. The most of the fallout was from the shade Tempting, so if you do buy this palette, I wouldn't use that one after doing your foundation and concealer. I would do it before, and I definitely wouldn't use a fluffy brush like I did because it just made a total mess. And once it got on my cheekbones, it got on my beauty blender, it got on my nose, I kind of had to like redo all of this area. So yeah, so I'm gonna go in and do mascara nail, and then I will show you the final look. Alright, well this is the final look complete. I hope you enjoyed this video and that the tutorial was helpful for you, as well as the swatches and review at the beginning of the video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to subscribe.